What's going on, everybody? We're here for UDL Week 1. Back on Wi-Fi for another league. Got the itch to play some Wi-Fi again, so here we are. Team on the left is the team we got. Didn't put up a draft analysis, but pretty happy with their team. Can't be too upset with round 1 Chien-Pao and their round 2 Para Ogre Hearthflame. Both pretty broken. Both should not be allowed. So yeah, we'll get into Week 1 here. Just going over build real quick before hopping into the game. Take a look at the matchup. We are playing Its.Just.Mat. His team is Dragapult, Carrot Inamus, Incarnate, Tower Gothtel, Glamora, Scizor, Rotom Wash, Scrafty, Sandy Shocks, Entei, and Squawkabilly. Now the 6 I expect him to bring this week are Colt, Enam, Gothtel. I could see Glamora, I could see no Glim. I could see Scizor, I could see no Scizor. I think Scrafty's for sure coming. I think Entei has a good chance as well. I think it's Colt, Enam, Gothtel, Scrafty, and then 2 of Glamora, Scizor, and Entei. I think they all have purposes, and they could all come for their own thing. Scizor could be a power check, Entei could be a power check, Entei could just sort of be an overpawn. Check Glim for hazards. I think there's a higher chance than not that Glim is brought. Getting into our team here. First up, we got November Air, the Chien-Pao. 108 HP, 252 attack, 148 speed, adamant. We got Boots on this John. This guy is just very strong late game. I have Boots on him because I don't want to be in a situation where I have to use him early and then hazards be up and I get cooked. So I was having Boots on him. We have Shared, Crunch, Psychic Fangs, and Sacred Sword. We have Ice Stab Shared because I'm not clicking it too much. The only times I'm clicking it are if I'm in front of Colt. I'll click an Ice move, and in that sense, I want to use Shared anyway. Into Enam, but I don't think Enam's gonna Terra. I don't think it's the best Terra Captain. I'm more scared of fighting Gothtel, to trap my Chien-Pao. So I should have shared there. If it tears out of Ice Weakness, then I'm not gonna be clicking my Ice move into it anyway. I'll probably be clicking Sacred Sword or Psychic Fangs. Could be Terra Ground, so in that case I'd click Ice Shared, but if you like Terra Fire, then I'd want to click Crunch anyway. And then like Glim, Sacred Sword, or I Crunch, Scizor resists, Gothtel's tearing out, Rotom resists, Scrafty, Sacred Sword. I don't think Shocks is that good here. And then Entei, I'm not Ice Move anyway, so there's really a move to have an Ice move, so I just went with Shared. I've Psychic Fangs because I really do think it's gonna be terrifying Gothtel. That thing is very, I won't say annoying, because it's not really that annoying. It's not the greatest, but the fact that I can't ever use my Chien-Pao if they bring Terrifying Gothel is really bad. So, the Pow's gonna be sitting in the back for most of the game. Next up is Madeline, our Ogrepon. We're talking 24 HP, 222 attack, 8 defense, and 224 speed. Jolly Nature. We have Cudgel, Tantrum, U-Turn, and Synth. U-Turn is in case they bring like a Terrifier Gothtel, and then try to trap my Ogrepon that way. I know I have Tantrum, but I don't like taking like Helmet into foul play, so or like T-Wave, so I would just use your air there. I've Synth because I can Synth up on like Scizor pretty easily. I can Synth up on Defensive Scrafty. So those are some pretty free heals. And then I have Cudgel, just because it blows everything up. The only like actual swap is like Entei, so I have Tantrum for Entei there. Our next one up is Starved, our Pinglu, and a Rocky Helmet, 240 HP, 250 defense, 8 Splef, Impish, Ruination, Third Chop, EQ, and Spikes. The Sears swap to Bolt. Now, I think offensive Bolt is still very, very good this matchup. But I think Bolt also does really like being like a support set this matchup. So, I feel like this Lu was the best for both of them. If he's like wisp spamming, I don't care. I have Rumination. I have Spikes as well. If he's U-turning around, I have Helmet to chip him. I take D-darts pretty comfortably. I'm a Tingaloo, so I'm going to take like Dracos pretty comfortably as well. We're trying to use this Ting to chip down the Pult into Shard and Chien-Pao. Pretty much. Next up, we got Blue Jay Baby, the Iron Crown, rocking a very bulky AV set this week with Volt Switch, Tachyon, Psychic, and Focus Blast. 240 HP, 148 SinofWrath, 112 speed, timid nature. This is my EM swap. I went down to Glim or like a Glim creeping a Mesprit because I do still really value being like fast here. I'm gonna be slower than like full EM Entei, but being faster than like Glim, Scrafty, Sizzle, or Wash, like guaranteed, is very nice. We're still bulking up to live 3 Earth Powers from a modest not boosting it at Meenam, so that's very nice. And didn't really need any more bulk as well. So I really enjoyed having the speed on him. Next one up is High Road the Cyclezar with the boots. 244 HP, 128 defense, 136 speed. Jolly. It's just a standard Fizz-Def Cyclezar. Spin, knock, U-turn, taunt. I have Cyclezar here because I don't have a great swap into Entei. I have Tingaloo, but he can get pressured very easily without having to deal with the Pult as well. I have a Swallow, but Swallow has other businesses he'd rather do. So Cyclezar is kind of attached with doing a lot. He has to swap into the Entei. It's the swap into the Glim, and it is the swap to the Rotom Wash. I think my team really wants to get status. It's a big thing. Like Pow, Ogre, and Fan really don't want to take a T-Wave. Swallow doesn't want to take a Wisp, and then Ting which doesn't want to take Pumps, he doesn't have to take. So that's for me really not having a good Rotom switch in. So it's either between Cyclezar or Mesprit, and I'd rather have Cyclezar because I can get spins off if needed. Is there a lead if we see a Glimmora? If there's no Glim, I'm just gonna lead Ogerpon. I'm gonna swing on something right away. If there is a Glimmora, I have to lead Cyclezar and I have to try to taunt his hazards. I can't let hazards stay up. And Pult can spin block me fairly easily, so being able to stop spikes instantly right away is very nice. And then last one up, Purple Gas is Swallow Up, Rocky Helmet, Sticky Hold. 248 HP, 252 defense, 8 speed Impish. This is swap to the Scrafty as a Scizor. Knock off Fire Punch, EQ, and Encore. Like a Spidef bulk up Scrafty with like Choppleberry was like very scary. Because Ogerpon doesn't Oko after he boosts up like 2 times. If he has Choppleberry on, then How won't even do like a lot. I'll do like I think 40-ish, 50% maybe if he's Chopple. I'm not gonna do a lot if he's Chopple. Tingley won't beat it. Tingley just lets it Drain Punch heal for free. Crown won't do a lot. If he's Spadef. And then when she's bulked up, he's gonna hit me hard. I don't do anything with Cyclezar. So like, I was very scared of a Spadef bulk of Scrafty. So the Swallow just it helped me with Scizor as well because I don't have a great Scizor swap. So Swallow kind of just helped with Scizor and Scrafty in one. Knockoff's a generally good move. Fire Punch is there for the Scizor. EQ is there for the Glim. And I have Encore for the Scrafty. So pretty easy to get stuff done with Swallow Up. But it's pretty important what Swallow will be doing. It's also nice to have my poison. It's nice to bring the poison into the Glim matchup. So yeah, we'll get into the game now. Alright, here we are with the game. Unfortunately, my recording, the audio is messed up in OBS. I had my mic set way down, and then I forgot to put in a source for my capture card audio. And I put it in halfway through, and it was way too loud, and you just couldn't hear me at all. And the game was so loud. So that's unfortunate. So we're just gonna have to do a post-com here. So unfortunately, there won't be any game audio anyway. But yeah, we'll get into the game here. So we get in, we're gonna see the 6 that he brought. He pulled Enam, Glamora, Scizor, Scrafty, and Entei. He is Terra Stellar on the Enam, and that's it. That's the only Terra Captain he brought. So we know he's gonna be taking the Enam. Now, when I heard Stellar, I immediately thought he's Scarf. I feel like you don't. I feel like the only reason you'd bring Stellar is because you want to get an Oko on Ogre. So we're gonna lead off News Glim. We're gonna go for a taunt. We're gonna get the taunt on the rocks. Now if you're new, I could either knock off. He's gonna be Sash, so I'm not gonna get a lot of damage from the knockoff. And I really don't take away an item I really care about. But like, he doesn't lose anything from staying in. So like, I know he's gonna stay in, he's gonna attack me. I'm a Cycle Czar. I don't really threaten him that hard. And now here I'm just debating if I want a U-turn and I want to put up the T-Spike, and go Crown if I want just Crown. Now ultimately I did decide to U-turn, because Crown's my immediate answer to this thing. They're gonna be immune to T-Spikes. The Cycles are immune, and then with Crown and Cycles will pull in Scrafty or Scizor more than it will another mon. So with that, it's gonna be pretty easy to get my Swallow and to absorb it. So we go Crown. Sludgemon comes out, and I'm in a position where I can kind of just fire off a free Tachyon, a Glim, Pull, and Enam. None of those guys want to take it. If Scizor or Scrafty come in, that's my Swalot. And then if anything comes in, then it's Cyclezar, and I'm still immune to T-Spikes. So I'm in a fine position here. Shoot the fire for free Tachyon. As he's gonna go Scizor, they're gonna reveal lefties. Now I actually missed this. I was looking away when lefties pop. So I didn't notice they were lefties. But anyway, here I'm just gonna go for a free Volt Switch. All that calc showed was that they were max HP on their Scizor. So I'm assuming that it's gonna be like max HP, max attack. Let's go for the free Volt Switch here. I know I'm faster. There's no way you're max HP Scarf on your Scizor, so free Volt Switch. Out into the Swalot. I know there's gonna be a U-turn coming out here, but this is my best one to take the U-turn. I get some Rock Helmet chip on the Scizor, and I get rid of the T-Spike. Swalot isn't a horrible mon to have in front of Gloom either, because I know it's gonna be a Stealth Rock coming out, and I have EQ, so this is just a free EQ on the Glim. So Glim's gonna go for get the rocks up. I'm just gonna fire for big EQ. Unfortunately, don't get the KO. Swalot's a little too weak. Wasn't my favorite to get it, but little unfortunate. But Astro Cycles there on EP. We're gonna take it fairly well. Now here I have a play. I can either rapid spin and pull. Can potentially spin block, or I can knock off to KO Glimpse season or hit the pull. Now I do believe I made a misplay here. I think the better play would be to knock off. I did end up clicking rapid spin. My thinking in the moment was Colt spin blocking. Colt blocking a spin is better than knocking the spin and putting another layer up. But that was the reason the moment I missed off of the T-Spikes. I'd rather have one layer up. I'd rather have the 12% every turn than have the 6% that racks up every turn. So always better just to knock off there. Part of me was like, I don't think you go Pult, as it's like a very telegraphed knockoff there. Like you can be Culver Pult, but you still don't want to switch into a knockoff when you don't need to. So I just go hard into my Ting here. U-turn comes out. This is a good bit. We get the helmet chip. We're in a fine spot here. So he's gonna go Scrafty here. He's gonna reveal Insim. I missed this Insim proc again. I can't lie. So I was assuming he was Shedskin. I kinda. I especially thought it here after this turn. Because he's gonna have a big dragon dance here. I wasn't expecting DD Scrafty. I thought Bulk Up was just better here. My team's so physical. Um but DD comes out. My only play here is just to encore him into his click. As he's gonna go for a big knockoff. This is a lot of damage to me. We get the encore. He expects a knock, but I don't have a swap. I should have to give him the swallow out, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna click knockoff in case he decides that he doesn't want to KO my pal or my swallow. So we get a big helmet chip on this guy. So swallow goes down. There goes our swap to this thing and our swap to Scrafty. So I have to be careful playing around this Scrafty for the rest of the game. Now I should go Pow here. This plays between Pow or Ogre. I think maybe looking back on it, Ogre may have been better. I live the knockoff from Scrafty. I take rocks, but I'm fine taking the rocks here. And I'd fire off a big cudgel. It would kill Scrafty from this range for sure, and it would do a lot to any swapping. But I go Pow. At this point, this is just a free Glamora stack for him. He doesn't really ever have to think about it. It's just a pretty free stack. But I don't really have another play. Like, I could have doubled out into my crown, maybe, but it seems like a weird play. Big Shaker Sword comes out, KOs the Glim, as one layer T-Spike goes up for the rest of the game. Now, everything's going to be getting not badly poisoned, so they're going to be taking 12% each turn. So Scissors going to come out, and now here I almost clicked Crunch, and actually, in fact, I would have clicked Crunch if I had noticed the lefties reveal, because I knew they weren't banded from their damage. I knew they weren't Life Orb, so I knew Bolt Punch never killed me. And Crunch always killed Max HP Scizor. But if I didn't want them to be like Helmet or something, be their Pow swap, Bullet Punch, Helmet, boom, my Pow's dead. So I decided to swap out into Ting, as I felt like a Bullet Punch was probably coming out. But U-turn comes out, we take a lot on Ting. We get some nice helmet chip, which now that Scizor isn't able to really swap into anything, he's just gonna die to no matter what he swaps into. As now Scrafty's gonna come out, and then this is where I saw he was into him. Now it's okay. He can go for a DD here, and I can't really stop it. All I have is like ruinating or putting a spike up, whatever. I do believe I just click spike. He's gonna drain punch. I knew he wouldn't be able to greed two DDs. I think it is probably correct to go for a DD there, because from Whirlwind you lose nothing. But you can't go for two because if I am Whirlwind, like you DD, I spike, you DD again, and then you get Whirlwinded, you got nothing and you lost. You let one hazard get up. So right here, I get my POW in. My only real play is clicking Sacred Sword. Scrafty's gonna swap out, Entei's gonna come out. And over here, Entei reveals like super max. Like you can't get any more Fizdef Entei than this. So I'm just gonna go out into my cycles right here. That's all I really have. Not really anything else to do. I also had a feeling that this Scrafty wasn't faster than like my Ogerpon's benchmark. Um, because I feel like if you are, you just stay in on POW and you take your knockoff and you get rid of my boots. All the hazards you have up, I feel like there's no reason not to do that. So he's gonna double Scrafty as Cyclezar comes out. Here I'm just gonna U-turn out. I need to try to punish a DD here. Um, but there's not much I have to punish that. My only real like way to punish that is just to go into Ogerpon aggressively and hope I live a +1 Jam Punch from this guy. So I believe I would have lived +1. For sure. Actually, I for sure would have lived +1. Seeing that damage. Um, but we trade paste after the game, and he had head smash on this guy. So if he DD'd and then hit the head smash, it would have just been over at this point. We got super smoked by that Scrafty. Um, so here I'm just gonna Terra. I'm gonna Tantrum because you always have to go out into Entei here. Tantrum does a lot to this Entei. Um, like it's gonna put it in range for anything. I was debating clicking Synth here because Synth would cover him attacking me again or him going Entei. But the main difference is if I Tantrum on Entei, I can preserve the Ogre Pawn sack. Whereas if I Synth, I have to give up my Ogre when I attack him. So Entei does come out. We're gonna get a big Tantrum off on this guy. And our POW in game's looking nice. But the way I was really looking at winning this game is I was looking at a crown in game. I know it. I know I don't take a lot of damage from the EM, and then I'll go back with Tachyon. So I know I have that. Um, I know I'm faster than Entei now. I know I'm faster than Scizor. It's almost in range. Scrafty's in range of a Focus Blast now. I know he's not choppable because he swapped out with a POW in front of him too many times at this point. Um, and then Polt doesn't do a lot to me. So that's like a fairly free Tachyon on him. And then that's like all I need is to get a little bit of chip, whether it's a shard or if I Tachyon and then I keep my power round. I attack you on, and then I get him with Shard. So there, I go Crown as I know it's gonna be an E speed. I don't really take anything. And then that gets me out into my Cyclezar. And then what I expected to be a Sacred Fire ended up being Stomping Tantrum. So fine by me. And now at this point, I'm okay. I can knock off and I can just kill it down the Sente. I can U-turn on the Entei, but if he stays in, it puts me in a weird spot. But the real thing is, Swap to Scrafty is pretty free, and I kind of just lose to DD Scrafty. I have to taunt, and I have to give up my cycles there, and then I have only POW. I had a Pound Sign, but they make a really aggressive swap to pull. I guess like really wanting to keep hazards up. Now at this point, I don't really get that play. Because my Ogrefon's already so low, Enam's gonna KO no matter what. How's Revealed Boots? Cyclezar has Revealed Boots. Crown is resistant to rocks and is immune to T-Spikes. So I don't super get being that aggressive wanting to spin block. Because taking a knockoff would have been pretty down bad here. But they're gonna show Outrage Bolt. I was like, okay, buddy. Just be Dragon Darts. But because he's taunted, I know my POW won't have to worry about getting like a T-Wave or a Wisp. And I'm fine taking the chip. I'll trade health on POW for Polt. Because Polt's like one of the only things that Frown doesn't outspeed. Polt and Enam at this point, and Enam does not do a lot of damage. I mean, he just gets freaking O-code back. I don't know what this Polt's backing that could affect me. So I'm just gonna go for a crunch here, as it's gonna cover a swap out, and then it's also going to just completely outgo this guy if he sees him. We're gonna see the Entei stack here. Pretty much what I expected to happen. We're gonna see Scrafty come out. And like I don't really have anything to protect against the DD here. Like once he gets the DD up, it's kind of down bad. Um, but this is a pretty free like Drain Punch. So I should have to swap out to Crown, hoping it's a Drain Punch, and I have to go Volt Switch back into POW. On a knockoff. That's like one of my only ways of getting really back into it. As you see, that Drain Punch is a lot, so it's this Crown game's still there. It's just getting a little tighter. I eat and eat him pretty well. So like if I can get rid of the POW somehow, because I don't know what the POW's packing, but I can still chip this guy down. Oko Scrafty, I can KO Scizor, and I can KO Crown, or I can KO Ian with this Crown still. So it's really just getting that pull out of the way. Speaking of, Polt's gonna come out. It's gonna take a little Volt Switch there from my Crown. And now here I was debating it would be better to go POW and try to shard him, or if it would be better to sack Cyclezar, Outrage, and KO with Enam, or to KO with Crown. I was like, no, it doesn't work because he could be Scarf Enam, and then I would just instantly lose. So I'm gonna go POW, and I just have to hope he lets me shard, and I have to hope the shard kills because this Bolt could be pretty bulky, and if it is, he could live. Now I really, really wanted to click Sacred Sword, predicting the Scrafty. I wish you could hear my mic in the game, and I was like, I could get that Scrafty. I was like, nah. I was like, I have to just share it. Hope he gives this to me. And then he gave me the pulp. At this point, now the entire time leading up to this, it was kind of just me trying to damage control and or get into a situation where I could maybe win. I didn't think I was gonna win though. Like I was not that hopeful. After that turn, I was like, hey, this is still very doable. That's still like not a great spot. Um, but now I was going to do the crown in the POW thing, but that just loses if you scare for Enam. So I have to Sacred Sword POW and I have to hope he knocks off, predicting me to do that. So we get the knockoff on our POW. And now we're in a position where we can win it for sure. So I should have Sacred Sword, KO the POW. He could sack what's it called here? Or not sack, he could go like hard Scizor, he could go hard Enam. I don't think it would change the outcome. I think I did win as soon as I got that play there. Barbarian Sacred Sword, we pick up the KO on Scrafty. Now Enam's gonna come out and I'm like, okay, this dude is super scarf here. So I have to take my share damage. I'm gonna get like 50%, but I have to take it. And then I need to hope that Crown and Segazar can take it home against Enam and Scizor here. And the only way this share backfire was like bulky agility policy. Did not think that was gonna be brought with Settler. So we just shared. Crown comes out. Now the share chip is big because it means that this thing dies to Volt Switch. So I am able to just click Volt Switch here. I don't know if that mattered. I don't know if Scizor was in Tachyon range or not. But this is a way just to get around it. I don't really care about getting it with good diff. I'd rather get it with a win for sure. I don't think that was in Tachyon range. Maybe it was. I don't know. But we're gonna Volt Switch the Scizor. Out comes the Segazar. We're gonna see lefties for the last time. As a knockoff here is just gonna like pretty much win. If maybe a hard Enam here would have won. Maybe. I think it would have because you could Stellar Terra Blast the cycles there, and then you could EP the crown. So maybe I could have lost that way. Who knows? But Scissors gonna go down to knock as a BP chip. And at this point, I knew they were scarfed, so they don't. The only way they can win is if they crit my crown. +1 Stellar Terra Blast doesn't do enough, and then neutral EP also doesn't do enough. So pretty good like spot for me. I should not get crit. Easier said than done sometimes. But Stellar Blast comes out. It's gonna pick up the KO on the cycles there. They get the boost, and now all I need is to dodge crit because I know they can't AP me because like that I confirmed now that they are scarf. So it's just dodge crit and KO with the Tachyon here. And we're gonna see Terra Blast come out. Crown does not get crit. They get another boost. You can use that boost in the afterlife. Goodbye, Enam. And then we're going to pick up a little 1-0 win there. Definitely wasn't the cleanest game. You'll see this season. I definitely could have been better. I built a team way too long ago, and I was just like not. It wasn't the greatest. I had built it 3 weeks before we played. Because we had a long time between draft and week 1. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, we pick up the win. We can always look back on the game, see we could have done better. But yeah, that is going to be it for me here in week 1. And I will see you all next Saturday for week 2.